I'll give you a calculation. We turn off all greenhouse gases tomorrow. Not one molecule comes out the day after tomorrow. About every country, every place on the planet. The planet will warm 1 more degree. And the reason for that is that energy has already been stored in the ocean. And when it stops the continuance of greenhouse gases, over the century it'll come back out. And so we're going to see a 1.8 degree world no matter what. You can't stop it. It's the supertanker effect. I call it the climate supertanker, because to put the brakes on this, we can put them on, we should put them on now. They will take time to take effect. Eventually that would start bringing things down, but on the time scale of this century, we're going to see 2 degrees at least by 2100s or maybe sooner.
And with 2 degrees,
it implies in terms of sea level rise?
Well, that'll give us that meter. Those two numbers go together.
that's 1 meter by 2100?
Yeah, 1 meter by 2100.
With a complete shutdown of emissions.
Yeah, we would get it without, because see, the trouble with this is that all the energy in the system necessary to melt that's already there. We put it there over the last 100 years, or last 50 years is the most poignant part. So it's already right there. And if I showed you the graph of sea level rise and let's say the most aggressive position they could take here, sea level rise would only come down very minimally. For just the reason I told you, there's so much energy stored in the ocean, it's going to come out and continue the melting process. This melting is, if we were to stabilize at some number, 450, 500, whatever, we're smart enough to choose, it will take hundreds of years, like 500 or 600 years, for the sea level rise to just taper off at its new level. And that's when there's a new equilibrium between the temperature and the ice and the rainfall, and you have to get into that position.
Do you think that for these small islands,
Their history. It's all over. I don't mean to be blunt, but when you've got the facts scientifically that say we're going to see a meter, and it's going to be differential. Some places like over in the Western Pacific, we've got an amplification factor of a 5. So if we get a meter globally, we'll get 5 meters over there. In the United States, in the Gulf, we'll get about 1.5 to 1.8 meters of sea level rise. And the reason for that is, it sounds complicated, but it really isn't. It's a redistribution of the levels of the ocean throughout the world due to currents. And they get shifted. Or in some places you'll get local warming, so that local area will be warmer and hence expanding more rapidly, say, than the colder regions in the north. And Dorte showed that picture. It's really, really scary, because when we talk 1 meter, a lot of people say, well, I guess we could figure out how to handle it. But differentially, you're going to get sea level rises. And you're going to get some at places where it doesn't rise much at all, because the rise is counteracted by the sinking of the earth below it. And that sinking is caused by long-term geological processes. So I live on the Chesapeake Bay, and east of Washington, we've already seen 1.5 feet of sea level rise.